Alright, so magandang araw po sa listeners natin. Nagbabalik ang nag-iisang podcast gawa ng fans para sa fans ng Stallion Laguna FC, ang The Stable.
Stallion Laguna!
Po si Small Kuya J, Jervin Pamatian. Kasama ko si Coach Ernest Nierras. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, good morning.
Ayan. So, ayun fresh tayo sa balita na yung keeper na si Patrick Deyto, he went to Thailand for Suphanburi FC. So, Coach, can you give us more information regarding his move? I guess ang unang gustong malaman ng fans natin is, was this offered by the club or was it something that was initiated by us?
No, it wasn't initiated by us. An agent from Thailand approached Patrick, and he's the same agent who brought Silva to same team to Suphanburi. There was no plan in releasing Patrick, but like I said, the opportunity for Patrick to be able to improve and compete for starting position for the Ascals was a big thing, and not only that, but looking long term and how we can improve our club and everything. This may be a 6 months to 1 year move for Patrick, but definitely after playing in Thailand, he's coming back to finish his contract with Stallion. So basically, what we did is we just delayed the contract so that he will be allowed to move, but it's a release. But Suphanburi cannot sell him or send him to another club without our approval. So that's the condition that we put in with Patrick. When he comes back to Manila, he will finish his contract with Stallions, and that's the reason why we allowed him to play there. Not only because of the opportunity, but also the financial security. Every time you play for a foreign league, it's a big jump financially. So it was something that as a club, management felt, Philbert and I felt that this would be able to stabilize the future of Patrick. That's why we decided that this would be something that we want to look into, and hopefully it happens more in the future, with our club. And our players know that. We told our players from day one that we will always look for opportunities for them to play overseas.
So ayun first time natin marinig yan na all this time I think everybody was thinking na it's a permanent move. So in a way medyo parang loan.
No, it's not a loan. I mean, he's released from his contract. Okay, he cannot play. There's no transfer fee. We were not paid by Suphanburi for Patrick. Okay, so but the financial implication of this is very good for the player. That's why we said, this is something that he should pursue. So when Patrick approached us, had we said no, Patrick would not do it. But Philbert and I felt that this would be the best move for the player. That's why we said go ahead.
I see. So, Coach, I remember na nag-comment ka dun sa isang thread sa PFL Fans United na sinabi mo na part ng agreement nyo with Suphanburi FC is dapat si Patrick
No. We don't have any agreement with Suphanburi. I never said that. I said I would not release Patrick if he wasn't going to start for Suphanburi.
I see.
So Patrick negotiated that with Suphanburi directly. That he was only going to move if he was the starting keeper.
I see.
So that's not at any time did we discuss any terms with Suphanburi.
I see. So ayun magandang opportunity yan kasi Coach, lately nagkakaroon tayo ng exodus ng mga Ascals local players into Thailand, So isang question mula sa fan natin si Kenneth Bryan Facun, tinanong niya kung meron pa ba tayong ibang players or na-offeran na maglaro overseas, or kung nangyari na ba to before sa history ng club natin.
Yeah, we had a couple of offers before, but it wasn't financially, it wasn't a big difference, so we turned them down. It has to be something that would we feel that would make the player improve his situation financially also, because it's if he stays with us, definitely he will get better. So I think that's something that you have to always consider is the salary of what the player is going to get is also important, and not just the opportunity to play.
Ayun, so naalala ko rin, coach, nabanggit nyo noon na you are open to loaning out our other players to foreign clubs, especially in Southeast Asia. So are there already steps to put that into motion?
Well, with the situation of Patrick, I think more of releasing and then continuing the contract when he comes back, I think is the best situation. I think we're not league-wise and club-wise, we're not in a position yet, meaning we don't have the contacts and everything for loan movements within the league. And I don't know if that's the type of business model that the other leagues have or practice. Like I said, there was no contact between us and Suphanburi. I hope in the future things would happen like that, but I don't mind the players working with agents. Even with our players, we told them that that I would, Stallion management would actually pursue active opportunities overseas and see if we can work with other clubs. We're not really into selling the player and generating funds to transfer fees. I think that we're still a long ways for Stallions to be doing that. So right now it's more of creating the relationship with the clubs and doing it both ways. Loaning a player and getting players in return, I think is something that we will pursue in the future. Like if we loan, there's been a few teams who talk to us in Korea in the K2 and K3 about getting Filipino players. I'm sure that will be opportunities, for the K1 in the future. I don't know, because I know Japan and Korea will be following the same 3+1+1 rule that we have in Southeast Asia. So, it's a domino effect. If the top players on other countries go to Korea and Japan, then that means a lot of the leagues in Southeast Asia will opt to get players in the Philippines, and that's what's happening right now. I think in this year alone, you have almost 20 players already who's moved from the PFL and other professional leagues to playing in Southeast Asian leagues, mainly in Thailand and Malaysia. I know at one time Jason De Jong was playing in Indonesia. Okay, so we don't know. So I hope the opportunities that the Malaysian league and the Thai league is given Filipinos will continue in the future. Especially the Thai league is pretty big league. It's one of the biggest leagues in Southeast Asia. For them to be very open and to bring Filipinos, I'm sure the other countries will look into that. But unfortunately, right now, the financial structure of the league, it becomes difficult for us to bring in Southeast Asian players to play for the Philippines, in the Philippine League. I think it's easier for us to develop the local players, and that's the emphasis of Stallions. Patrick moving is going to open the door for other players to come in. We've already had an agreement with a new local player to come in the future. On Stallion's side, that's one of the reasons I personally brought in AJ Arcilia from the US to Ateneo is for AJ to play for Stallions in the future. That was the condition that we set with Mr. and Mrs. Arcilia. Actually, they wanted AJ to play directly for Stallions at the time when AJ came here 4 years ago, but we were the ones who suggested that he go to school since he wanted to earn his degree, which I'm really happy that AJ decided to pursue that avenue first in earning his degree before embarking and playing in a professional league. And he's going to be playing his 5th year for Ateneo. So I mean, he's won 2 championships already, so that's good. So hopefully we'll be able to get him next year for in 2020 after the UAP season.
That would be very exciting. So if I remember correctly, I don't know, si Patrick is the very first homegrown player to have to play
No,
overseas?
Kasama is there also.
Right.
You know, Mario Kasama is there, and then who else? Amani's there.
Yeah.
So it's not Patrick. Patrick, I guess, will be the first keeper,
Yeah.
homegrown keeper that went overseas, and even before Freddy Gonzalez played in Vietnam long time ago. So this is not the first homegrown player who's been able to play in a professional league overseas.
So I guess that would bring about an exponential rise in our export of players, and then maybe it will go the other way around.
Yeah, people are thinking that it's like a talent thing. It's not. This creates, now it's the responsibility of the clubs, and that's why we were for really developing local players, because this is what we wanted to happen for our local players to have the opportunity to play overseas.
Right.
And that's one way, not the only way, but the one way, the fastest way to not only progress our national team, but create more jobs for local Filipino talent. Once a lot of the young players realize that they can not only play in the Philippines football league, but also overseas, then I think they would really look into football as a career, and not just something to do, and say, after college I'll just go to the PFL. What Stallions, our business model is to actually develop players, and hopefully that will lead to opportunities for them playing overseas, and that's always been our push. And for Patrick to be able to do that right now is actually good for us, and I hope it leads to more players leaving. I mean, I want my players to explore opportunities outside the PFL, and that's what we prepared them for, and also for the national team. Because I feel that if they're just going to move within the teams in the league, they might as well just stay with Stallions. It's not that I don't want to help the other teams, but I think it will be more of added value, not just for the national team, but also for Stallions, that if we are able to send our players overseas.
That's a good model, I think, no, Coach. Pero nasa na ako, sorry. So basically, it's more of a long-term plan, that we are sending out players to foreign leagues.
Yeah, well, we tried at one time. We actually spoke to a club in Spain to loan out Matthew and Nathan, and unfortunately at that time they were still too young. They were just coming out of college, so I felt that wasn't going to be a good experience for them, and playing wise, so we held them back. But I hope in the future that we're able to. We're not just looking at Southeast Asia. We're also looking at European countries.
Okay.
For these players to play in the leagues that we feel, even in the lower division, second, third division, as long as it's financially makes sense. But right now, the biggest opportunity for young Filipino players, if I were to suggest a way for them to progress in the football profession, is to go through UAAP, get as many years as possible in playing the UAAP and the NCAA. Those two leagues are to me the best kickoff point for amateur players in the Philippines, and then from there progress to the PFL teams. Make sure that you're able to get good coaching, good match experience, because like it or not, when you play teams like Ceres and Kaya, who've been able to go to AFC already, then that it gives you a good gauge as far as how you're developing your local talent. And then from there, if we're able to identify talent opportunities for our players to go to Southeast Asia or other Asian professional leagues, then so be it.
And kasi parang like just 10 years before, a lot of our players did not have the option to play professionally,
It was not even a consideration, or even a suggestion, or even a opportunity, or so people wouldn't think that. No, it's not possible. It's not a possibility for Filipinos to play professionally, and not then for them to play professionally in other countries. People were just laughing at us and saying, "There's no way." But they most of these people forget that. That's why the influx of Filipino foreigners coming over to the Philippines, the Strokes, the young husbands, all these guys coming in here. We know all of them. I don't have to name them one by one. Was a good thing because then it pushed our local players to perform to that level, which over time they did. And that's why even though we only have 7 teams in our league, it's the competition level is still pretty high. And like I've said this even before the league started, when Archers decided to follow and join the league again. I said this is Archers will do good. I wasn't expecting them to be a pushover or anything. Because the management and coaching staff and players and for the Archers, they're committed. They want to win. So that's a good thing that they're very competitive right now. That's good. Because that means that the other clubs, like San Beda and Air Force, are now looking at those things and saying it's possible for us to compete. Which is I'm really happy that Menjola and Air Force decided to join, and I hope more clubs will look at this and say this is the model we want to follow in the future. And because we work with these clubs anyway, we try to help them. The other professional clubs. Hey, we try to help them and see what we can do to help for them to get experience and understand what it takes to play in the PFL.
Ayun. So Coach, speaking of new players, you just mentioned this week na Stallion is looking for new local players, so we would be holding tryouts.
Tryouts is ongoing already. We have a couple of guys who's here already trying out. Carl is a Filipino, British, Filipino, German.
Okay.
He grew up in England, lives in Hong Kong. His father is German, his mother's Filipina. He has a Philippine passport. So he's here. Another Carl that we have, Carl Emery, he's part of the U18 right now. Really progressed a lot. I'm really happy with how that kid progressed. The parents did homeschool for him, and they brought him to us and said that he came from there in Hartman's Academy. Brought him to us and said, we want our son to, gain high-level experience, and they've committed to doing that. He's been training with us since January, and for him to make the U18 right now, I think it's a what do you call this, justification that the efforts that he put in is leading to better things and bigger things. And then we have Andrew. He played in the 4th division in Spain. I think that's at the Serie and he's from England. He's here right now, also trying out as a foreign player. We'll have a few more Korean foreign players coming in by next week because we just have 2 foreigners in the squad, right? So we're still looking to fill 2 foreign positions. We're talking to a Phil Canadian right now to come in. He's just working on his passport and everything. And then Phil Italian, he's Filipino already, and we should know over the weekend if he's going to be able to come over or not. If his club's going to release him. And then, there's been inquiries with some local players. Like I said, we have another local keeper that's going to be coming in. We actually tried to sign him in the beginning of the season, but we felt he was not in competitive shape, at that time. So, he didn't want to transfer. But now we've already come up with an agreement. He's already agreed to play for us, and I think it's just a matter of waiting for the window to open, and then he'll be released to Stallions by next Friday.
So that's very exciting. We have a lot of incoming players. So para lang sa mga listeners natin, Coach, since we are holding open tryouts, can you tell us more about what you're looking for in a player who's looking to try out for the team?
Don't come to Stallions if you're not in shape. We're not. It's funny. Some of these people come here and they think, that it's my duty and responsibility to get them in a playing shape. If you come to training, any professional club, not just in Stallions, to any professional club, you have to be ready. I mean, you go get a job, you get a degree. You know what I mean? You get experience and then you apply for the job. You don't go to a company and say, I don't have experience, I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know anything about you guys, I don't know how you work, but I want you to give me a job and I want you to train me and make me better.
Right.
That's basically how a lot of these players have been approaching, especially the local players, which gets me really pissed. Because they'll come here thinking that, hey, they can just step in and do whatever they want to do, getting an opportunity, especially in the beginning of the year. I always will give any local player an opportunity to try out, experience what it takes to try out for for the Stallions. I have no problem with that. Those are things that we can help to promote the sport, But if you're going to try out for any professional team, you have to be ready. You have to be in shape, and then you have to be willing to come in on time. I mean, I've had tryouts who will show up 20 minutes early, and then I won't let them participate, and they're pissed because they had to commute there. That's not my problem. You have to be professional. That's why it's a professional team. Okay, we're serious in what we're doing. So the local players, when they come here, first they have to be ready. It would be good and great if you played in the UAAP and NCAA, because that will tell me that you have the skills needed, the skill set needed to play in the league. Okay, but if that's not there and you're playing in your local league and you feel that you're capable, then why not? We've had that players do that before, and they didn't really have a great career in UAAP, but now they're playing for us. Okay, so to me, if I look at the player, if you're asking me what do I look for the player, besides fitness and the skill set to play, the technical skill set, is attitude. If the attitude is not there, he can be the best player. I won't even give him a second glance. And I've had assholes like that, come to the team already. One of that is Anthony, whatever his name is, who said he's a professional player from Australia and everything, and do 21 in the beat test, and could not even beat my goalkeeper in the beat test, and goes to the side and throws up. Okay, so you can't do things like that. For the foreign players, this is the biggest problem. Honestly, right now in the Philippines, we have a lot of foreign players who claim to be professionals, but they're not good at all. Not even club players. I wouldn't even put them in my 7-a-side team. Okay, so that's the frustrating part. That's why what I've done for this season is I've kind of closed down the tryouts for the foreign players, and all the foreign players that are coming in are for invites only. I don't want walk-ins anymore, because I know all the walk-ins. I know who they are, and right now, of all the foreign players who are in the Philippines, who stayed here and reside here legally or illegally, there's only 2 in Stallions, 1 in our coaching staff that makes it 3. The 4th one is our kitman, and then there's 3 foreigners in Kaya. You have that's been here a long time, and then Ceres, you have 1. Haji Mendy has been here forever from Menjola. Global also has a few players. Archers has 3, and the goalkeeper's been here for a while. So that's it. And in total, you're talking about 12 to 15 players. Foreign players who've been here for a while and that we know of are good quality. But there's a lot. I think there's close to 1,000 professional players who claim to be professional players in the Philippines. So, that's the frustrating part. We're hoping, for myself, Stallions, that we have more of the real professional players to come in, and that's why I focus really more on Stallions. It's more of really developing the local talent. That's our main push, and then we'll work with the foreign players that we know can add value to our team. For the past 2-3 years, we had June and Polly with us. Now I'm happy that they're able to get bigger salaries and more opportunities overseas. So I'm happy for both of them. They continue to follow us and give the best to the team and everything. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to get more players. Nana's been with us for the past 5 years. Abu, this is his 2nd year with us. So That's what we want. We want stability with the foreign players. So I wish the quality was better with the other ones who are here who don't have jobs, but it's not. It's far. I will not waste my time. I would rather really put my efforts in developing the local talent.
And with the way the league is performing these days, I think that will attract more foreign players, and it will make the local players step up, don't you think?
I think this year, especially this year, I have to give my hats off to the Federation and the PFL for having really adjusted to the needs of the clubs. They've been able to work with the clubs this year more than in previous years, and for the Federation to be able to bring the sponsors that they've been able to bring in, it's a good sign. Our streaming this year has been great. We even have replay now on our streaming, and they have highlights that are done immediately. The quality of the streaming is great. The social media, blast that the PFL has been doing has also been great. They've been doing a good job in doing that, and so my hats off to all the media people and everything with the Federation. The next thing that needs to happen is for the referees to actually use this replays, highlights, and everything to better educate themselves with the league. Okay, because that still has a ways to improve. Referees, it's not an easy job. I'm not complaining about the quality of officiating, but if the players train to be better, I think the referees should also aim to be better. But I've seen improvements over the past. For us, it's 6 games. I've seen improvements in officiating and everything. So I think we're headed in the right direction. But big improvement has happened to the PFL because of what the Federation has done, and what Coco. My hats off to Coco for stepping into that position and taking charge of the PFL, and he's really done a good job. To the matchcoms who've been very patient with the clubs this year, more than last year, and really working with the clubs. I think that's the main thing. We're starting to learn how to work with each other. The clubs are, really being more cooperative with the league. And we're not complaining as much compared to last year. With how the PFL been doing things and everything. I think, and we're learning. There's an adjustment on both sides, and the side of the PFL and the side of the team and the owners and everything. We're learning, and I also appreciate what the fans have been doing. Not riding this negative wave of trying to really criticize everything that happens in the PFL. Last year was like that. It's so hard because every small thing that happens, trolls and critics would just jump on it and make it no big deal. Like it's unique to the Philippines, and it only happens here. That's not true. That doesn't happen. It happens all over the world. And we have problems, but internally leave the teams to be able to resolve those problems themselves. We have to respect and give management, the owners, and the players to resolve those issues within themselves. Even with how Global was being crucified in the beginning of the year, you got to give them space. Still hats off to Global for being there and doing everything they can to be part of this league. So we got to do that, And now with the attention falling on Ceres management, you have to respect that. That's an internal issue. That's a family issue. I know people write about it and comment about it. My request to the fans is, to respect, the Anson family. They're a very good family. They've done so much for football, not only for Negros. You gotta give them room to be able to breathe and take time and resolve issues amongst themselves. We don't have to, kasi, as an owner, and you hear these things in the internet and speculations, all this, it doesn't help. And we're animals of the internet, right? Everybody's on
That's
it,
true.
and
Unfortunately,
people really, not even without the facts and everything, making up stories, and doing all these things just so that they can have their 15 seconds of fame in the internet, and not knowing how it affects the children of that person they're hitting, and the wife and the family and everything. it's so irresponsible. Honestly, sometimes I lose myself and I want to really beat up a lot of people, and because that's me. You can criticize me and everything. I'm okay with that. Just don't involve my kids, my players. They have nothing to do with my decisions. Those are my own. If they don't like me, they say Coach Ernie stupid and all these things. That's their opinion. I'm okay with that. I won't. That's why I would join the banter and I would defend myself, but I wouldn't really, do anything crazy. But as soon as they start talking about my children, my family, my players, then that's off limits to me. And you pick a fight with me. Don't bring anybody else in the picture. I know how to defend myself. I have lawyers too, so I'm sure my lawyers can handle whatever legal problems I may encounter by beating up stupid people. But, I will face the consequences of what I want. People think that being a coach makes you a public figure. It's not. We're a coach, not a public figure. We don't hold public office. We're not actors. We're not actresses. We're not marketing people. We're head coaches. Funny thing is, people don't realize there are less number of pro A coaches in the whole world compared to PhDs. So that puts our profession in a different category. You don't get a lot of professional licensed coaches in the whole world. There's only a handful. Yeah, it's growing every day, but it's still a handful. But you have a lot of PhDs. So the experts in football are the ones who go through the licensing courses and have the teams to train and manage day in and day out.
Mabalik tayo dun sa topic ng fans, Coach.
Yeah.
Would you agree that the reason why the fans are responding positively compared to previous seasons is because mas engaged sa fans yung the league management right now, especially with.
I mean, that's good. It's a really good analysis. But to me, even for last year, it was a very unfair thing to do. Like, I think as fans, considering also me, I'm a fan of the sport also. We expected too much too early. I mean, in the point, we're doing this for the fans. It's and that's why we're fan-based clubs. That's why we're in Laguna. That's why we're the city of Binyan, because we feel like this is where we can actually increase our fan base. Okay? And that's the most important thing when it comes to football. It really, having the right fans, the big number of fans it's so inspiring. Yeah, but in the same time, when it goes in the negative direction, it's demeaning and it's depressing. Okay, so when the engagement of the fans improve, I think it's because also I will give credit both ways to the federation on being more engaging, but I will also give big credit to the fans for being understanding. The fans decided that, hey, we tried to be critical of the league last year. It didn't really help. So let's take a step back and be more supportive. And that's what I'm seeing more of. Especially in the PFL Fan United page. I'm seeing a lot of support, a lot of good comments, a lot of positive things, a lot of things that's going on. And now I'm happy that fans are even starting to post updates of our locals who are playing overseas. So that's good. It's helping the business grow, and that's what I mean about the importance of the fans. Without the fans, football will not grow.
That's true.
That's it. It's as simple as that. We gotta get the fans in the stadium, in the seats. We gotta get them to watch. We gotta get them to talk about the game. We gotta get them to talk about the players. We gotta get them invested, in this sport. And when it comes to the teams, I have to give them, take my hat off also to these teams, because through the hardship that we went through with all the criticisms and everything, the owner still decided to be more patient and still give this a shot, because we're here. We didn't pull out, and then other teams joined. So to me, that's a big thing for them to feel like, yeah, we're gonna get hit left and right by criticisms, but I think it's worth it. So my hats off to the owners of the clubs for saying, put their cards in the hat and say, hey, let's be part of this. Let's continue to support the federation. Let's continue to develop our professional teams, and let's continue to help Philippine football in general. Now, the other part that people are not looking at yet, which to me is a positive thing, is the growth of the academies. You can see academies improving from what it was 10 years ago. A lot of people keep putting the responsibility of the grassroots program on the federation. Man, to me that's so unfair, because you basically have so much to do as the Philippine football president, even the general secretary, with national teams, men's and women's, and then the youth teams, national teams, and then you have your engagement with the member associations. We have 33 or 34 member associations. It's going to grow because you have 7 professional teams right now. So you're going to be 40 plus. The day-to-day engagement of that, managing the league, managing competitions, doing everything to help promote Philippine football. And here you are, some critics will just put everything on the PFF's plate and say, you don't have a grassroots program, you don't have this, you don't have that, And again, for the youth program, why don't we just do our part? Create academies. The academies are there. Empower the academies. The academies work with the FAs. The member associations, the football associations in their region or their province. In our case, it's Laguna FA and NCRFA. We're close to each other in that part. Work with your member associations and see how you can grow your academy or your participation at the national level. Now we have the U15 youth competition. Pretty soon, I think the women's league is going to start again. And I think the next push will be for a U18, or I don't know which age group. And these are not easy things to do.
That's true.
To embark in and really manage and everything. And that's where we have to really talk to the fans more and say, hey, be the president, the Gen Sec, they only have 2 arms, 1 brain. Fortunately, they have very big hearts. If not for that, we'd have problems. They don't even talk about what they've been able to accomplish over the past 8-9 years that this administration has been running and promoting and managing the growth of football in the Philippines. A lot of people haven't been really talking about that. They do it in passing, but not really more on commendation and telling these people that they really work hard, and that's why, as much as I will always be a critic of the federation because I want them to improve, I will be one of their staunchest and biggest supporters. I will always release players to the national team. I will always support the Philippine Football League. I think I've proven that already this season, and so I would always do that. And when they call on us to support them, like right now, they asked us to help them host the SEA Games in Binyan, and we're working with this wonderful city here in Binyan. The mayor, vice mayor, and the congresswoman has been very, very supportive of football in general, regardless of their knowledge of football. They've embarked on it. They've built a stadium. They've welcomed a professional team here. They were developing the local talent here with academies that we have who train here in Binyan. So now you have the Southeast Asian Games that's going to be played here.
Do we already have information what games will be played?
Yeah, it's going to be the women's.
The women's,
it's going to be
women's football.
Yeah, it's going to be women's football. And depending on what will happen with the other venues, we might even have a few men's games here. So it's going to be good.
Okay, that is very good. Mabalik tayo sa usapan ng academies, no, Coach. We just like to acknowledge our partner club, Makati FC, for making it into the finals in Paris, our under-14 team.
Yeah, and we took a lot of flack for merging with MFC beginning of the year. Some narrow-minded people think that I don't even want to get into it. I'm just saying that and that's their problem. It's not mine. We're gonna promote football the way we see fit. Whatever personality problems they have with each other, I don't really give a shit. If I feel that partnering with MFC will help promote Stallion football and help create opportunities, man. And we will do that. And my hats off to Coach Richard and my staff. and Celo Lozano and Tomas Lozano for making that happen. And we progressed so far, regardless of what a lot of people have been saying and doing, and really actually stopping us from progressing. Removing us participating in a league that we co-founded. That's kind of low, but hey, no problem.
We're finding success. in
Yeah.
other
We're
places.
trying to figure out how to do things. It's not going to stop our projects, not going to stop our programs. It's not going to stop us from helping, developing players and creating opportunities for other people.
And we wish the best of luck to our team that will play in the finals in Paris. Let's hope they get the championship.
Yeah, we didn't talk about our game already this coming weekend. But anyway, we're playing Kaya, and I'm asking the fans to come support both Stallion Laguna FC and Kaya FC. And Saturday we're playing against the defending cup champions, and as usual, we feel it's going to be a good game. We're gonna try to continue our good start of the season. Right now we have 1 loss and 2 draws, and we're gonna do our best to win the match tomorrow, and then progress from there. It was unfortunate we had to cancel the match last Saturday.
Yeah. Sayang naman.
against Ceres, but it's too much water on the pitch. It was not going to be. Wasn't going to be a quality match, and that was more of my concern. We didn't want to see replays where the ball was not moving and all those things. And, right now, we have to really.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Yeah, and it's good that the fans supported, the fans understood, and the league also supported and understood. So just looking forward now. We have the window coming up. A lot of good games. We have all football all the way till December between the PFL, the Women's League, the U15, Paulino Cantra Cup in November and December. And then you have the SEA Games mid-November till the beginning of December. So, and then you have the ASCALs playing the qualifiers. The women's going to AFF, and then the SEA Games in the end of the year. U23 also SEA Games end of the year. So there's a lot of football in the Philippines right now.
That's true.
And
Very exciting year for
So
football.
you cannot say that nothing's happening. When you have programs like this already specifically talking about football and Stallion football. You have social media accounts already for the teams. You have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Facebook pages, and all those things. And it's a lot already, and it's good to me. These are good signs.
Mabalik tayo sa coach sa game natin versus Kaya tomorrow.
Yes.
So Kaya just tasted their first defeat against the reigning champions, and we are still on the 3rd place, no? So any thoughts? And by the way, I believe 2 of Kaya's players were sent off, Amita and Minta. So,
Dapat dinagdagan pa nila?
do you think there should have been more bookings in that game?
No. I'm just being facetious. But obviously that the big impact in that. And I don't know how injured Giganto is, but when I saw the game, I saw how he got injured. So I hope it's not what I think it is. But that wasn't. There's no contact in his injury. When he planted his foot, that's when it wobbled. So and where he was holding it and everything, it's not a good sign. So I hope that he recovers soon. And when it comes to Kaya and Stallions, this is a match that's played on the field. You can't talk about it. You can't forecast it. You have to experience it. That's all I'm going to say.
That's true.
What's going to happen? I can't really tell you. I mean, I'm the head coach of Stallions. Obviously, I want it to end in our favor.
Of course.
But the ball is round, the pitch is green, it's big. Both teams are well coached. Both teams are fit. And both teams want to win. So we'll leave everything on the pitch on Saturday.
But technically, we have basically the same stats with Kaya. So meron silang pares tayo na may 1 loss and 1 draw na kasi they drew with Archers na rin, no?
Yeah,
so this is going to be an exciting match.
That was good, huh? Archers drawing with Kaya it bodes well for us. We have a game on hand against Kaya. Right now they have 7 games, we have 6. So if things go in our favor and we win on our 7th game against Kaya, there will be 2 losses and 1 draw. We'll have 1 loss and 2 draws, and with still a game on hand. So, you know,
Yeah, so
I think, I hope, as much as I support Ceres and I also want them to be succeed, I hope madapa rin sila. Diba? Diba? So we'll see, you know, and but, hey, you know, we need the fans. We really need the fans to the fan base to grow. We need the fans to support your local teams, not just Stallions, but your local teams, your local club teams. You know, show our passion, show our love for this game. Because this is the best game in the world. You know, and
That's true.
nothing
That's true.
better
Couldn't
than
agree
this
more.
game. You know, I always say, give me a football player, and that player will play any damn sport. A basketball player cannot do that. A basketball player will find it so difficult to play football. Give me a football player, and he'll be able to hit the ring even with his foot.
doon sa nakita natin yung sa Kagbalete, no, Coach?
Yeah, even with his foot. Okay? Yeah, and a football player can play basketball. It doesn't go that way. No. It's not applicable. A football player can basically play any sport that will need agility, speed, quickness, strength, power, which is basically almost any sport.
So I guess that wraps it up for
Yep.
this episode. Before we go, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Giligan's Restaurant, with branches almost everywhere.
120 plus branches.
120 plus branches, and there would be more opening this year.
Yeah.
And would like to thank our other sponsors, ARMM Gym, located near the Village Square, Alabang, in Las Piñas, and
It
Pythos
means athletics, rehabilitation, and mixed martial arts.
Mixed,
Not
yes.
autonomous region of
We have a lot of programs there, especially after summer. Still have more time to work out, get fit. And Pythos Inc., the Filipino can. And we'd also like to thank our equipment sponsor, Nassau from Korea. Thank you so much. Again, dito si Small Kuya J for the stable ng nag-iisang podcast gawa ng fans para sa fans ng Stallion Laguna FC. And papasalamat tayo kay Coach Ernest Nierras for joining us yet again. Coach, maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat. Look forward to seeing the fans tomorrow.
Iniimbitahan namin kayo bukas.
3:30, but come a little early because I hope it doesn't rain. If it rains, we're gonna decide to start early.
Yes, ayun. So narinig niyo si Coach. So 3:30 ang official scheduled start, pero sana makapunta kayo na mas maaga para makapag-start tayo ng mas maaga. So free entrance pa rin, no, so
Yes,
far.
yes.
So yan, sana ma-take advantage natin.
And this is our home match, as we switched in the schedule.
Okay.
This is not an away match for us. This is a home match for
Okay,
us.
that's very good to know. So yan, inimbita natin lahat ng fans Sabado. So hopefully lahat.
Then Wednesday na din.
Wednesday na din,
We
okay.
play against Air Force.
Against Air Force at home din, no, Coach?
Yeah.
Ayan, so Sabado, Wednesday, sana makapunta kayo. Free admission pa din unless any changes would happen. So take advantage natin. Again, this is Small Kuya J with Coach Ernie Nierras. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. And everybody have a good day. See ya. Bye.